Yo, it's Trivelli. I'm back, and today we are breaking down the NCAA men's basketball championship game between Gonzaga and Baylor. I'm going to tell you guys why I think Baylor is going to struggle big time tonight versus Gonzaga compared to how they just played against Houston in the Final Four. So please like, comment, and subscribe. I'm dropping videos Monday through Friday. I'm never slacking, so let's just jump right into the action, all right? So listen, if you're a Baylor Bears fan, I just want to say right off the bat, please don't be upset with this video because you guys should know I did pick Baylor to make it to the national championship game tonight versus Gonzaga, where I have them losing 73-69. And of course, the spread came out and it's at -4.5 in Gonzaga's favor. So I think I did a pretty good job with my bracket, 91%, won my bracket challenge with my friends. And yeah, I just wanted to say that real quick for Baylor fans out there. Like, I'm not a Baylor hater. I know that this is the first time Baylor's made it to the NCAA tournament since like my grandpa was a teenager. But besides that, they're having such an incredible year. They have multiple NBA players on this roster. They've got great coaching, and honestly, they could build a nice tradition after a run like this. But I do think a few things are going to hinder their success tonight versus Gonzaga, and we can break that down right now. So ESPN's Power Index does give Gonzaga a 54.8% chance to win this game, which you guys can watch on CBS tonight, 9:20 Eastern time. So just to give a little plug for CBS, if you guys are watching and you guys want to throw some money my way, let me know. So I want to break down Baylor's roster really quickly and talk about how well they played against Houston, winning 78-59 versus an incredibly talented Houston team, probably the most talented Houston team we've seen since those Phi Slamma Jamma days way back. So I just want to give Baylor all the credit in the world for how they played against Houston, but I think that they were able to spread the floor against Houston and kind of punish them from the three-point line and in their transition game. This is key for Baylor as they are undersized to be playing against Gonzaga in the national championship, and I'll explain why. Now, Baylor is a very experienced team with a lot of upperclassmen. They do play a lot of guards at, in between the 6'3" and 6'5" range, but they don't have those traditional bigs, I think, that can clog the paint and cause problems for Gonzaga, especially if they were to play a zone. And I'll talk about that more in a second, but let's just break down what Baylor does very well. Okay, they have 3 players that are all shooting over 40%, with 2 other players hovering right around 40% from the three-point line. So you've got Jared Butler, who shoots at 41.5% on the season, Davion Mitchell, who's got so many similarities to Donovan Mitchell, it's kind of scary, but we'll break that down in another video. He's shooting 45.3% from 3. You've got Adam Flagler shooting 42.2% from 3, and Matthew Meyer shooting 40% from 3. Now, Matthew Meyer, I think, is a key player in this game. You're going to see him get a lot more minutes in this national championship game than he's traditionally getting at 15.7. I can see him actually being one of the final players to roll down the stretch with Baylor to stop a player like Timmy or Crispert from just dominating inside, because you have too many guards on Baylor. You have too many small forward kind of players, wing players, perimeter players, slash and cut players, transition players that are phenomenal at what they do. But defending someone like Corey Crispert, or defending someone like Ayayi, or defending someone like Timmy is going to be a challenge for Baylor at an undersized position. I see a lot of zone in a game like this and crashing the paint to support undersized bigs on Baylor. So that's one thing I want to say right away, is that Baylor shoots the ball very well, but they're undersized. They're very good in the transition game, and they shoot the free throw reasonably well at 70%. You've got 76% for Butler, 84% for Masio Teague. You've got Davion Mitchell struggling this season at 63%, but definitely makes up for it with 45.3 from the three-point line. You'd really like to see a player like Adam Flagler get to the free throw line a lot in this game, shooting 86%. So one thing that Baylor does struggle with is going to be the offensive rebounding and rebounding in general. Having no players averaging over 7 rebounds a game on this team is kind of scary when now we're going to take a look at the Gonzaga strengths and weaknesses. Like right off the bat, you have an extremely balanced starting 5 with Timmy, Crispert, Suggs, Ayayi, and Nembhard. I love this starting 5 where everybody in the starting 5 is averaging over 9 points per game. Another thing to take a look at is 4 of these 5 players are averaging over 5 rebounds a game. You've got Timmy at 7, Crispert at 5, Ayayi at 7, and Suggs at 5.5. I'm just a huge fan of this offensive rebounding type of team. They really crash the boards. And with a player like Timmy at 6'10", who can shoot over the top of defenders, you've got Corey Crispert, who is deadly from three-point range at 44.5%. And he seems to always be in the right place at the right time to get that offensive rebound, which is why he's got 5 rebounds per game. Another thing to take a look at on the defensive side of the ball is Jalen Suggs' tenacity as a point guard defending other point guards, getting 1.9 steals per game. If you guys saw him hit that incredible buzzer beater, of course you did, he's going to go down in history as one of the most clutch shots of all time. But besides that, the kid does shoot 33% from 3, which is not terrible, 76% from the free throw line, and you know, he does a lot of things well. Shooting 50% from the field as a point guard is pretty good. So I like a lot of what Gonzaga does. They love to get Timmy the ball in the paint with mismatches using setup screens near the elbow or at the top of the key, whatever it may be, with Crispert, Timmy, Suggs, and Nembhard running that type of action. I'm just super impressed with Mark Few's ability to target Timmy when the time is crucial, and Timmy shows up every time. No one was able to stop him in the UCLA game going down the stretch. Now, Gonzaga was struggling with one-on-one players like Johnny Juzang, and UCLA was able to hang around because of his incredible solo effort, basically, in hitting so many shots over the top of defenders. Again, Baylor doesn't have the length to even cover someone like Juzang. How are they going to cover players like Timmy and Crispert when they're coming in, slashing, and shooting fadeaways over the top with such precision? I think it's going to be really tough for Baylor to get in the face of Gonzaga on defense. Now, I could be wrong. You could see Baylor really stretch the floor on offense, play a super fast pace in the transition and fast break game, and then set up their defense almost like full court pressure with a zone focused on defending the rim. Now, if Gonzaga is hitting their threes, like if Nembhard is hitting threes, if Ayayi is hitting threes, if Crispert's hitting threes, if Suggs is hitting threes, this is going to be an extremely rough night for Baylor, especially if Gonzaga is offensive rebounding and getting extra kickouts to their shooters. That's going to be the key for Gonzaga's success. Get the ball inside to Timmy, see if they double team him, see how they react, and kick the ball out to players like Crispert and Suggs, who you know are clutch at shooting those threes. So that's what I think it's going to come down to, guys. I just think Gonzaga is such a better offensive rebounding team. I think they're a lot bigger and more physical, well put together, and you could argue that the coaching for Gonzaga is just slightly better than the coaching on Baylor. So if Baylor can hang around in the rebound department versus Gonzaga and get enough of those offensive boards and kickouts, as well as running their fast-paced transition game, I think you could see a really close game. If Gonzaga is hitting their threes and they're getting those offensive rebound, those heartbreaker kickouts, this is going to be a long night for Baylor, and I could see Gonzaga running away with it. So either way you slice it, if you're a fan of either one of these teams, they both had an incredible run, and if you're a fan of either of these teams, you should be super proud. So that's all I got for today, guys. I've got Gonzaga winning 73-69. I'll be back tomorrow. Peace.
Millions and booking up another show. I'll be trying to get money in the fast lane. Why she wanna take it so slow?